right?
Let's get into it.
That's my big project. So for me, we were busy doing a lot of work, yeah. And Things We Do for Love, I must say, was born in this studio. This
Which studio?
Joy
Joy
FM.
FM.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I was producing Speakeasy.
Yes, I remember Speakeasy.
We had come out with GSMF had come out with the commercials for the first time. Reproductive health products like the condoms and all those things were being advertised like any other product.
Yeah.
And so commercials were produced for them, posters, billboards, and all those things were done. That's social marketing. And what happened was there was, at that time, it was only GBC. So when people started writing against the campaign, the commercials were pulled off.
Of GBC.
Yeah, then came Joy FM. And then we thought that, okay, why don't we do some soft stuff? So we're doing activations like Protector Night Jams. You remember those nights? And then when Joy came, then we said, why don't we have a discussion show for young people? So we were having a discussion show here hosted by Kweku Buafo Ajiman. And it was called Speakeasy.
Yeah.
So whilst the show was going on, one chief of party of Johns Hopkins University Center for Communication Programs, which was based here in Ghana, had come to Ghana and said, why don't we add drama to it? So it was that brief that gave birth to the radio version of Things We Do for Love. So when we were asked to do it, actually I looked around, searched for writers to do it. I spoke to some of the big ones. I wouldn't mention their names, but they rejected the idea. So there was this young man called Eddie Sedo Jr. who had come to worry me about some script he wanted to shoot earlier on, and I thought wasn't tight enough. But his enthusiasm just, got me. I called him to come, and I briefed him. And then I put him on a desk in my office. I said, sit down here and write it. So he kept, he kept coming up, and we were brainstorming, and we were going on until the Things We Do for Love was born. So when we produced the radio, and we were showing it, and my idea for the radio was that it should be so realistic that people listening to it would visualize it. So if it's a car moving, we had a car moving sound. If it's people walking, we had a people sound, the footsteps. We had all these sound effects added to the radio production. That made it so real. So immediately we played it, they loved it. And then, so when we opened the phone lines, the calls were like, why can't we see it on TV?
Exactly.
And that inspired us to go ahead and shoot.
And shoot it for TV.
Already, I was trained as a film director. I was ended up working as an advertising person, and always eyeing the film industry with so much interest, wanting to know when we will be able to do something in that area. So when this thing came in, I grabbed it with both hands and shot it.
Perfect opportunity, perfect definition of waiting for the right moment.
Yeah.
Just waited for the right moment.
Yeah.
You did not push anything. You did not focus and say, look, I'm a trained filmmaker, so I want to do film. You just followed the path life had chosen for you, and you waited for the right moment. And when it came...
Whilst training.
Wow.
And working with the best.
Wow. Let us talk about casting for Things We Do for Love.
Yeah.
How did you manage to pull those people together?
Well, I think it's interesting. Recently, I've been looking back at the things I do before I get into producing some of these things. And I realized that casting is one of the big areas. And I tend to think that maybe I have the gift, or I am just blessed with the ability to see through people. When we were producing the radio version of Things We Do for Love, there were some people that were acting, but Pusha, Ajeti Anand was acting as Pusha. I remember when they came for the auditions, I made all of them try all the parts. But one person that I thought could do every part, even BB, even Vincent, but every other part was Pusha. So I realized that then I needed to give him the most difficult part to do. And he didn't really like the idea. He said, but why can't I do this part? I said, no, this is where this is the part that I want you to do. So we see lots of people. Like, I spent a lot of time looking at a lot of people, young people. We invited them to come in. Someone like Majid Michel
Shaker.
He had brought his younger sister to audition.
Oh,
so
okay.
he wasn't coming.
He wasn't even coming for it
the
himself.
audition.
Interesting.
And then he ended up. So when I saw him, I said, "Why don't we try this guy too?"
Yeah.
And then we liked him, but we didn't have anything for him.
Is it